That was great. Thanks, Sarah and Rocco. Up next, we have Kayla giving a speech. Okay. I'm sorry this is really long, but I had to make it kind of long. I wanted to thank everyone for coming to my second annual Celiacs for Celiac. Since we're raising money for celiac awareness, I figured it was only right to share with you my celiac story and a little bit about celiac. I was diagnosed when I was 9 years old, and I had been experiencing awful symptoms for 4 years prior to my diagnosis. Within those 4 years, they had no idea what was wrong with me. My mom always said, "I just knew there had to be something wrong with you. They should trust a mother's instinct." From the time I was 5 years old, I grew up with knee pain, eczema, malnutrition, and stomach pains. These symptoms went on for so long that I had begun to believe the pain was something every 5-year-old went through, and it would just be something I would learn to live with. By the time I'd gotten used to the late-night joint pain, the bloating after eating 6 helpings of dinner, and the stomach pains that came with it all, they believed they had finally found an answer. Celiac is extremely hard to diagnose and is often misdiagnosed for other diseases, such as irritable bowel syndrome and Crohn's disease. Because there are many symptoms that fit the disease, it is most commonly misdiagnosed. When I was 8 years old, they thought they found the answer that would fit my 4 years of symptoms. They scheduled an endoscopy to examine my intestines to see if I had celiac. When I was officially diagnosed in 2008, my mom had to explain to me that I couldn't eat a lot of my favorite foods and that fruits, vegetables, and salads would be my new best friend. I still remember having a meltdown when I couldn't eat my favorite ice cream because there were brownies in it. Celiac is a chronic autoimmune disease that damages the villi of the small intestine and interferes with absorption from food. Essentially, the body is attacking itself every time a person with celiac consumes a protein called gluten. I remember being 7 years old and eating piles and piles of food, and I'd still be hungry, but I wouldn't gain any weight. Having celiac disease greatly affected my growth since the symptoms began showing at a young age. Since I wasn't gaining nutrients from the food I ate, my body wasn't growing and I was slowly starving myself. The only cure for celiac is to follow a strict, lifelong gluten-free diet, which seems to be the most challenging part of the disease. After living with the disease for 6 years, or 7 years, I think, I'm so used to eating gluten-free that the thought of eating something with gluten seems weird. Since the symptoms I get when I eat gluten are less painful than some of the other celiac patients, I would like to soon be able to participate in a clinical trial to help find an alternate cure for celiac disease, since a gluten-free diet isn't 100% effective. While I planned this fundraiser and looked for people to donate to this event, it was hard to find companies and organizations to donate to the NFCA. However, when I hosted an Alex Lemonade stand back in 2008, I was able to receive donations relatively quickly. What most people don't understand about celiac is that when it's left undiagnosed, people can develop further complications such as other autoimmune diseases, osteoporosis, infertility, thyroid diseases, or even cancer. When I began to plan Celiacs for Celiac last year, I wondered why I was raising money for a disease that has the closest thing it can get to a cure. I could be raising money for people who need it more than my own disease needs it. But I realized I could prevent people from developing the complications before it's too late. Less people could be diagnosed with cancer, infertility, thyroid issues, and other complications because of the money I can raise to help raise awareness about celiac disease. About 3 million Americans have celiac, and only 17% are accurately diagnosed. Raising celiac awareness is important to the patients of the disease. Luckily, I was diagnosed when I was 9 years old, but the average age for diagnosis is 45 years old, while the time it takes to find a proper diagnosis is 10 years. Spreading celiac awareness will lessen the complications that someone could develop and not only extend the life of the patients with it, but give them a better, pain-free life. I hope I was able to teach some of you something new about celiac that you didn't know before. And before we get back to the performers, there's a little girl. Her name is Jacy. She is 9 years old, and that's how old I was when I was diagnosed. She doesn't exactly have celiac, but she has something close to it, which they said she's gluten sensitive, and I would like to give her something that I got when I was 9 and I was diagnosed. A family that I know that has celiac, they gave me this basket with a bunch of their favorite gluten-free foods in it. So I got a bunch of my favorite gluten-free foods that I would like to give to her.
You got it?
So thank you, and we have plenty of talented performers lined up for you guys to watch. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of the show.